Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. I just finished reading Go West issue 1. This is a 2018 comic book from Alterna Comics, written by Garrett Gunn, with art by Saint Yak on pencils and Sean Fournier on colors, and HDE letterer. Now this first issue is kind of weird because it feels like the first half of an issue, but it is a good story. It's interesting so far. I recommend waiting till issue 2 comes out and pick them up together, or pick it up and don't read it until issues 2 and 3 come out. It's only a 3-part series, and you can order these on Alterna's website, of course, and they have an Etsy store. It's only $1.50, so I don't feel too bad. But I kind of dig the art. It's real rough line work, but it emphasizes the things that need emphasized and de-emphasizes everything else. Some background buildings will be slightly out of focus, just like a good photograph will be, so you're focusing on the person directly in front of you, and the image behind is slightly off kilter. Well, we find out that this former gunman or criminal, his family's been killed, his wife and kid. He's got this jagged scar on his face, comes down from his eye and meets another scar that goes from ear to his lip, and he's washing some blood off. He gets his hidden rifle out and assembles it, and then he assembles some crude crosses to mark graves, and then he burns his house down and goes on the road. Actually, since it's mostly in like gray shades and grayscale, it's cool when you see fire, because the fire looks like real fire from various photographs or stock footage or something. It's actually in color, and you get these vibrant yellows and oranges and blues that really kind of stand out. And I thought that was a really neat effect. And I don't particularly like the way he does faces, but it's a stylistic thing, and overall, I don't think it's bad. So he catches up with some bandits and kills a bunch of people, and that's a pretty cool scene. It's very bloody. This is a very bloody magazine. Definitely not for younger readers. Yeah, but it kind of ends where he's fighting these guys and killing what appears to be the last of them. That's why I felt like it was kind of missing a little bit, but it takes a long time to get there with a lot of large panels. If they had shrunk the panels down, they could have got more story in there, but it's only a 3-issue arc, and they probably didn't want to do it as a 2-issue arc. So yeah, it was fun read though. For $1.50, I don't feel ripped off, and I rather enjoyed it. I thought it was very well paced, very fast read though, so make sure you pick up a couple of books. And since it's an alternate title, it's only $1.50, and it's still better than most things that Marvel's putting out right now. So I recommend this one, but I would recommend getting all 3 issues or get it in trade. I'm going to get issues 2 and 3 because I'm intrigued, but this one just came out I think in January or late January, so the second issue probably won't be out till March, because Alterna seems to do bi-monthly most of the time, or they alternate. But I would say if you see it and it's cover price or less, definitely pick it up. But that'll do it for this one. As always, thanks for listening, and we hope to see you on the next episode. Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we're looking at Go West issue 2. This is part 2 of a 3-part series from Alterna Comics. Now this is a post-apocalyptic western, if you will. So we've got a guy staggering into an Old West town, and his face is all cut up, and he's got a message from Slade the Blade. Now this sends one minion running up to find this guy named Creep, who of course has to get some info from the guy that came in. They try to explain that they tortured the wife and son, but the man never showed, and they never gave up their location. So they of course killed the woman and kid, but when the guy got back, he took some justice into his own hands. Now we cut over to a woman named Lily, and she is putting an end to a scumbag that wandered into her town, Old West style, and that's when she sees Slade the Blade ride up on his motorcycle. He's our guy from the first issue, and they have an Old West style conversation and make a plan to go after Creep and take him down once and for all. And she's going to use every resource she has, and that includes cashing in a favor with somebody named the Chief, and that means guns and the settlers that she runs. You know what? This reads like a Western movie, and I was kind of excited to pick it up because it has a lot of detailing. There's a lot more conversation going on in this one, but there is a little bit of action, and you see the more modern weaponry, but it really has an Old West feel to it and an Old West look. The conversation is all plot driven. It's not just extraneous talking. It actually is giving us background information and talking about what's going on. And the art style is consistent with the last issue. If you like it, it's great. If you don't, I don't know. I think it's okay. Not overly my thing, but Lily's drawn really well, and what little we see of Arthur, because he's always kind of in shadows, that's really well done. Arthur is Slade the Blade. The use of color is really interesting too, because it's mostly one color wash, so it'll be like black and like an off yellow or a light blue with red for blood, and it works really well in here. I think it definitely makes the scene more dramatic, and I think that's what they were going for, and I think they actually make it work pretty well in this one. I really like this one. I highly recommend it. Alterna Comics are always at least worth the cover price, even if you're not super into it. It's definitely worth the $1.50 to $2 that you pay for the average issue. And this one was only $1.50, and it just came out on Wednesday, and I really like Alterna. They're doing some really good stuff, and like I said, even if you don't love it, you probably won't hate it. And for the price point, you really can't miss. Take a chance, pick it up, see what you think. Go West has been really good. It's only a 3-issue series. This is issue 2. In 2 months, issue 3 will be out. Let me know what you think in the comments below. In the meantime, please hit like, share, and subscribe. And thank you as always for watching and supporting the channel. And we hope to see you on the next one.
We are about to embark upon a series of strange and exciting, dangerous adventures. Adventures that will lead us to all parts of the world.
Hello and welcome to another Bad Comic Review. This time we are looking at Go West issue 3. This is the final part of the storyline. This is put out, of course, by Alterna Comics in 2018, and the creator and writer is Garrett Gunn. Saint Yak did the interior art and cover pencils. Cover colors were by Sean Fournier, and HDE was the letterer. Now the letters look fine. HDE's done work for a lot of companies and seems to do a pretty good job. Now, this time we pick up with our hero, the man with the scar on his face, and his lady friend, and they have summoned a gang of friends that live in the mountains that are friends with the woman. They agree to take out the power station, and they go in and kill the 2 sentries there, and then they run out and have a little confrontation, Old West style, with some guys, and it's a pretty cool fight scene actually. It gets down to a really cool scene where they're fighting these guys that look like they were in Clockwork Orange. It's a little unclear on when the apocalypse happened. Obviously it was some time ago, but it's hard to tell if some of these guys were around when things were normal or not, but they seem to know how to work a lot of equipment. Well, anyway, the big bad goes out and gets his gun, does some swearing, and goes out to showdown with our scarred up hero. Well, they go into a room to have it out, and they're gonna fight it out man to man, just hand weapons, and the fight scene is actually pretty cool, but the hero gets knocked down, and of course what happens? The girl has to come in and save him, because girl power, and of course she bests him. It's actually a really good fight scene, but I found it a little unbelievable because he's huge, and although she is muscular, she is significantly smaller than him, and he is almost certainly a better fighter than her, and she just works him over. So the 2 of them stagger out, and they bid their friends goodbye, and the man and woman get on a motorcycle and drive off into the sunset. Overall, I thought it was a good series that's definitely worth reading. My main complaint is that I felt very cheated when we see the man go through all of this process from the first issue where his family is slaughtered all the way to getting to the finale, only to be knocked out and the girl has to save him. It didn't feel either heroic or satisfying as an ending. It felt very cheap and desperate attempt to work in some sort of girl power theme that didn't need to be there, and didn't feel appropriate considering what they had built up in the first issue. And the first issue was very dynamic, very cool. This guy's going out for revenge, and ultimately his revenge is taken away from him by this woman who comes in and kills this guy. I think it would have been a better story if the guy had a concealed weapon or something and killed the big guy while he was distracted or talking or something, instead of getting effectively shut out of the story and his entire purpose of being there being destroyed by this woman showing up. And she was not a very fleshed out character in my opinion. The guy had a lot more motivation to be there. I know they did a little bit in issue 2 with her, but it felt very cheap that she's the one that killed him, when it felt like over the course of the story it should have been him, because he's the one that started the story, and it just ends up like randomly feeling like somebody else just came in and killed the guy. It was very unsatisfying as an ending. I was very annoyed by that, but overall it was a good story. The art style grew on me quite a bit, and I did like the color contrast, so I would definitely recommend picking it up. The price point is amazing at $1.50, and you could get all 3 issues for less than $5. Definitely worth reading, but I thought the ending was very unsatisfying and kind of lazy, and it felt more like they were going for some sort of girl power thing that is really overplayed at this point, and to the point that it's not only lazy but also very trite. I would still recommend the book, like I said, because it is so cheap, and the graphic novel will be like $10 or $12, and I would recommend picking that up even, because as a story overall, it had some really cool themes and elements. It just could have been ended a little better. This felt a little rushed. If they do a sequel, I hope it's a little bit better than this one. But that's just my opinion. As always, thank you so much for listening and supporting the channel. Be sure and hit like and consider subscribing, and we hope to see you on the next one.